welcome back to another remarkable episode on the BWT-African Rising channel. On this channel, what we do is we look at all the positive vibes and news that's going on the continent of Africa. Most of our content has been about Ghana because that's where I'm from, and so I get a lot of my information from there. But everything, if you check my old videos and some of the videos I did like 2 years ago, it's for the whole continent of Africa. We are looking at bringing Africa together. So we look at encouraging news, things that has to do with African unity, things that will make the African continent, just be on its own without any foreign influence. And I've just chanced on this particular video by Captain Traore of Burkina Faso, and it's mind-blowing. If this is your first time joining this channel, please kindly subscribe. Let's grow the family, and it also encouraged me to find more content that will encourage a fellow African. So that I just wish, most of us all are in the diaspora, but I wish we could have the confidence and the zeal to stay on our continent and to help it develop. This message might encourage someone. Just don't like it and put a comment, but also share it to encourage someone. So going forward, what I'm going to do is going into this particular video that Captain Traore did in Ghana during the inauguration of Ghana's new president. In fact, he's not new. He has been there before, and then he has come back. So Ghana's comeback president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. During his inauguration, Captain Traore visited, and in fact, there's been a whole lot of drama in terms of his side gun that was with him when he was going to greet, how he took off his, is it barrette or barret? The French, that Capt, but so yes, how he took it off to greet Ghana's vice president, who is a lady, and didn't do it for the president. People have been talking about it, but I think it's so, I found that culture so intriguing and very, very unique, like the way they have so much respect for women, of which most of us came from. We all know we came from there somewhere. So he has so much respect for the lady, and I think it's quite encouraging. And also, our women empowerment people, at least you got that 1-0 to some of us. By the way, I'm going to go break down that particular content in the video, and to let you know, it was in French, by the way, but French, I get it some bit, but I wouldn't say I'm going to translate everything for you. But the main component, I'm going to break down the component of what he was saying, how it's going to help the continent of Africa, and why you need to also find that video and listen. I think there's been one that has very good English translation that you can enjoy, but it's a long one. So I'm going to break it down for you and to tell you the positives that we can take from it as an African. I'm not for military junta, and I've always said it in my video, and every time I make a video about him or any military leader, I say that and I put it in context. I am not for military junta. In fact, the statistics and the history on the continent of Africa don't really favor military rule. You can talk about Thomas Sankara. We didn't live to see post 4 or 5 years of his term, and so we can't say it. What usually happens is when they take power, the first 2, 3, 4 years, they are all over the place. Everybody loves them. And then when things start getting comfortable, now they get into their civilian act in their military uniforms. So the corruption they start appointing their own people and all that, and things just get haywire. And since they have gun, it sort of turns out to be dictatorial, communist altogether combined, which that has been it. All right. Usually the argument people put is Muammar Gaddafi. He was a military man, and then later on he sort of one way or the other turned it into civilian somehow, and he kept winning. Let's put that one aside and let's dive into the content of what this guy said. In fact, I've taken so much time, I didn't want to do this that long. So Captain Traore began by thanking the people, and the people, let's first get into the audience. Who was this man addressing? So he was addressing a group of Burkinabes that have relocated, so the Burkinabe diaspora in Ghana. In fact, if you come to Ghana, especially from the north all the way to the south, Accra, there've been a lot, there are a lot of Burkinabes in Ghana who are making some of them speak our local languages, and so if the person doesn't tell you I'm a Burkinabe, you might not even know. They speak English, and so there's been a diaspora of Burkinabes in Ghana. I wouldn't say they are foreigners because they are in Africa. I always say it. It's just like somebody from Delaware going to live in Minnesota, just like they are all Americans, right? So Burkinabes living in Ghana, he was addressing those people, and in as much as he channeled his content to them, he also made sure he spoke to the whole African fraternity. What was he saying? He first started by thanking the organizers. In fact, they have leadership for organizing the group for him to meet them. In fact, I don't think it was even part of the agenda, but when he came, he got a call that your people want to meet you, and he made time. In fact, what we've seen from a lot of military juntas or military rulers, they don't even have time for some of these small meetings because they feel like their life is threatened and they might be executed or something. But this guy is so free, humble, came down to their level, met them. It wasn't even like a very formal official place that you say, oh, okay, a very big hotel or something. I mean, the venue and everything, you could see the humility and everything. Like, come on. He met them at a very low place. He came to their point of need, spoke to them about their citizenship registration. That was the first point that he touched on, that he's going to make sure that just as Ghana has done with his Ghana card, registering every citizen so that we have more like a very standardized, centralized database system. He talked about it. He said he will have to consult a lot of foreign countries, the United States, other Western, so that they can have a very robust system to get all Burkinabes fully registered in a centralized system, so that they have their citizenship status and all that, even while they are outside the country, so that they can contribute their quota. He encouraged them to keep on fighting as Burkinabes, even in Ghana, to help shape the dream of the new president, John Dramani Mahama, and to also help their people back home in terms of remittance or whatever that they can do in terms of academic knowledge, intellect, those that have intellect enough to come and help his government in Burkinabe. He talked about that. And then he also talked about the fact that they should keep the Pan-African dream alive, the fact that all Africans have to be united. We have to keep that goal of a united Africa alive. We might not have a literal borderless Africa, like where we are all together, but even without borders, we can have we can have I've forgotten the term to use, but a borderless Africa in terms of trade, a borderless Africa in terms of movement within from the citizens, a borderless Africa in terms of tourism, a borderless Africa in terms of diplomatic associations and reunions with families. In fact, when it comes to Togo, they have a lot of families living in the Volta region of Ghana. A lot of Voltaireans also have a lot of their families living in Togo. So borderless Africa will mean we can cross border, like here, in and out, go to everywhere, go to our family members, go for vacation, go for tourism and all that. He touched on that. And I think the key part of his address was the fact that he was open to ideologies from all of them. And that to me was quite humbling. For a military leader to sort of come to the level of his people that I'm ready for your input, I'm ready for everything that you want to bring. And the humility he spoke, the fact that he even agreed to meet them, wow, it's quite short, but I think it's positive news. He also touched on the African Continental Free Trade Agreement or area that is going to help with trade and economic development in the sub-region and even Africa as a whole. He encourages people that he is not to terrorize them, but he just looking for the development of Burkina Faso. Another point that he touched on that really touched me is the fact that he wants an independent Africa, which we wouldn't have anything to do with the West in terms of how they dictate how we should live, and it starts from the citizens, his people that he's meeting, and then how they live their life to improve Ghana, which has given them a living or a livelihood. That guy really spoke to the heart. And people have started relating him to Thomas Sankara. I mean, one of their most loved military leader who was executed. Now the case is in court by Blaise Compaoré, who is being tried for the death of Thomas Sankara. In fact, I didn't see Thomas Sankara. He even died before I think I was born, but I've come to hear a lot about him in terms of what he did and what he planned to do. And people have started liking Captain Traore to him. So probably he's doing something good there. People says he has refused IMF bailout and IMF loan, World Bank loans, and he says that we can do everything on our own. We have what it takes to develop, and he even made that in their address. And I think that's profound, very, very profound. And as Africans, we should be proud that we are hearing a young guy, and he's very young. He's very young, so I think he's Gen Z, man. He relates with the Gen Z. He speaks to the heart of the youth, and I think that's why people really like him. And I hope he doesn't get assassinated. I mean, it's always happened. You can't say much, but usually when somebody steps up like that, you know, his life is threatened. And I learned this guy's life has been threatened like 3 or 4 times already. And let's pray for him. And I just hope all that I'm wishing for is that he should turn into a civilian rule and even contest in the election. He will win. I mean, he should put that military junta aside. If he's confident winning that election, he should just transition into a military rule, just like Jerry John Rawlings did for Ghana in 1992, right? If you are confident that the people like you and love you, and I do think you do love you, so just turn into a civilian rule, democracy sort of, contest the election, you win, and whatever change that you want to bring, you can implement with your people. You don't always have to rule with a gun. It scares the people, and sometimes you wouldn't even be able to differentiate between who genuinely love you or who loves you because of the gun, right? So, well, once again, my name is Bernard Boama. Call me Ben Carson, and I've been your host for the Black Suit United African Rising channel today. Subscribe if this is your first time, and share this video. Let somebody get to know what's going on in Burkina Faso. It's about Africa, not just Ghana. So today, I'm on Burkina Faso. A touch of Ghana one way or the other day, but I mean, you know what I mean. I'll see you when I see you.